प्रभुपाद को भी ले लो। नहीं तो प्रभुपाद का भी ले लो और मिक्स कर दो। प्रभुपाद का भी ले लो, पहले प्रभुपाद का भी ले लो। मम्मी को दे दो, मम्मी को दे दो। चलो ये लो, चलो।
हरे कृष्ण, हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण, हरे कृष्ण।
जय जय जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। संसार दावा नललीढलोका त्राणय कारुण्य घनाघनात्वं प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम्। महाप्रभु कीर्तन नित्य गीता पातित्र माद्यान् मनसुरसेना रोमाञ्चकं पाशुतरङ्ग भजो वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम्। श्री विग्रहाराधन नित्यनाना श्रृंगार तन्मन्दिर मार्जनादौ युक्तस्य भक्तां शनियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम्। चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत प्रसादो स्वादन्न तृप्तान् हरिभक्त संघान्। कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपार माधुर्य लीला गुणरूप नाम्नाम् माधुर्य लीला गुणरूप नाम्ना प्रतीक्षणाश्वादनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् निकुञ्जयूनो रतिकेलिशेत्यै यायालिभिर्योक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रादिदाक्षादतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव शब्दी किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायं स्तुवंस्तस्य यशस्त्रीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् 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 नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय विष्णुपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौ गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जयो राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे। जयो राधा माधव श्री राधे। जय गौरचंद्र जय गौरचंद्र जय गौरचंद्र। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। हो जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद। निताई गौर हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल।
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशतशी श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशतशी श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, नवद्वीप धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई की, यमुना माई की, तुलसी देवी की, भक्ति देवी की, संकीर्तन यज्ञ की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की, श्री श्री राधा माधव की, श्री श्री गौरांग महाप्रभु की। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Gaura Premanande.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadayine Praladadayine Hiranyakashipo rakshaha Hiranyakashipo rakshaha Shilatanka nakalaye Shilatanka nakalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Ito Narsimha Parato एतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा एतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो बाहेर नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा बाहेर नरसिंहा हृदये नारासिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये नारासिंहमदिं तव करकमलवरे नकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलितां हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृङ्गा केशवद्रेता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृङ्गा केशवदेशा नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगद जय केशवद्रेता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय समस्त विघ्न विनाशक लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्त शिरोमणि श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की
कृष्ण। नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः। ब्रज राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो ये अभिलाषी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः। ये तुम्हारा शरण लो तारा वंश पूर्ण हो। कृपा करी करो तारे वृंदावन वासी। मोरा आबिला विलास कुंजे दियोवा। नयने हेरिबो सदा युगल रूप राशि। ये निवेदन दरो सकिरनुगत करो। ये निवेदन दरो सकिरनुगत करो। सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी। सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी। दीन कृष्ण दासियो ये न मोरा हो। श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा न भासी। श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा न भासी। नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः। यानि कानि जपानि ब्रह्महद्यानि कानि च तानि तानि प्राणक्षन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। यानि कानि जपापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्राणक्षन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। यानि कानि जपापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्राणक्षन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। यानि कानि जपापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्राणक्षन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय तुलसी महारानी, जय तुलसी महारानी, जय तुलसी महारानी, जय तुलसी महारानी। जय वृंदे देवी, जय वृंदे देवी, जय वृंदे देवी, जय वृंदे देवी। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः। वृंदाय तुलसी देवीयाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः। वृंदाय तुलसी देवीयाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय।
O Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I bow before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the service of Sri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestowing your mercy on him, you make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you will also grant me a residence in the pleasure groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Thus, within my vision, I will always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of the coward damsels of Praja. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen and lovely servant of Krishna prays, may always swim in the love of Sri Radha and go in the offenses against the holy names are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna as imagination. 6. To give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on strength of the holy name of the Lord. 8. To consider chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karmakanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like desire trees who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the following conditioned soul.
पंचकल्पतरुपितो आसंददेवस्य प्रतिकानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटि वैष्णवव्यक्ति जय श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता।
नादपि सुनिचयेन तरोरापि सहिष्णुना अमानिया मानदेन कीर्तनेया सदा हरि. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree and devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Maharaj. उनको बैठने के लिए पड़ता है।
Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Enam Kanvanda Maravindanayatam Bhagavatam Samasitam Sudasundaram Kanda Kako Vidamaniya Visesha Shobha Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Andaniya Sakalam Priya Pritimanti Vasyan Viva Vigayanti Viram Vedanti Ananda Chinmaya Satu Dala Kijasya Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Hare Krishna,
Darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. Is my Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic frame emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The very stretching of
Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Bandamue savadhana mate
দ্বন্দ্বময়ে সাবধান মতে যাহার প্রসাদ ভাই ভাবত প্রিয়া যা কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তে হায় যাহা হইতে কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তে হায় যাহা হইতে গুরুমুখ পদ্মা বাক্যা চিত্তক হে আয় এক আর না করে মনে আশা আর না করি মনে আশা গুরু চরণে রাতে ऐशय কামাগতি হে প্রসাদ পুরে সর্ব আশা প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা ক্ষুধা ন দিল জয় জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সে চক্ষুদান দিল জয় জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সে दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशिता दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशिता प्रेम भक्ति जहा हुईते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहा हुईते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाय जहारो चरित वेदे गाय जहारो चरित ते गुरु करुणा सिंधु हम जनार बंध से गुरु करुणा सिंधु यथम जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया मुझे पद छाया प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया देवे जाश घोषक त्रिभुवाना देवे जाश घोषक त्रिभुवाना जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नमायं विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेषाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिन नमः नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य जय गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि बोल हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jayam Vishnupad. Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Astatara Satasi Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Astatara Satasi Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gokapina Shyamakund Radha Kundi Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Gangamai Ki Jamunamai Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Brihat Mridanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Shri Radha Shama Sundara Ki Shiman Mahaprabhu Ki Nitai Gaur Pimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guruji Gauranga.
Kunjavi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hadi. Wrong key. Gopijana Ballabha Girivada Radhe. Gopijana Ballabha Girivada Radhe. Yasodhanandana Brajajananjana Yasodhanandana Brajajananjana Yamuna Siravana Jadi Yamuna Siravana Jadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hadi. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hadi. Gopi Janabada Girivada Radhe. Gopi Janabada Girivada Radhe. Yasodhanandana Brajajananjana Yasodhanandana Brajajananjana Yamuna Siravana Jadi Yamuna Siravana Jadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hadi. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hadi. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivedagacharya Astatarasatasi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi. You don't need your handheld device. You can just see it on the screen. Congratulations, everybody. Canto 3, Chapter 32, Text number 30, Entanglement in Fruitive Activities. Oh, we get something sweet instead of sour. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat. Text 30. Etadvaishadaya Bhaktya Yogabhyasena Nityasaha Samahitatma Niksango Viraktya Paripasyati Etadvaishadaya Bhaktya Yogabhyasena Nityashaha Samahitatma Niksango Viraktya Paripashyati. Premananda. Itadvaishadaya Bhaktya Yogabhyasena Nityashi Samadhidatma Niksango Viraktya Panipashyati. Etat. This by certainly Shraddhaya with faith, Bhaktya by devotional service, Yoga Abhyasena by practice of yoga, Nityashaha always, Samahita Atma he whose mind is fixed, Niksangaha aloof from material association, Viraktya by detachment, Paripashyati understands. Translation: this perfect knowledge can be achieved by a person who is already engaged in devotional service with faith, steadiness, and full detachment, and who is always absorbed in thought of the Supreme. He is aloof from material association. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The atheistic, mystic practitioner of yoga cannot understand this perfect knowledge. Only persons who engage in practical activities of devotional service in full Krishna consciousness can become absorbed in full samadhi. It is possible for them to see and understand the actual fact of the entire cosmic manifestation and its cause. Wow. It is clearly stated here that this is not possible to understand for one who has not developed devotional service in full faith. The word samadhitatma. and samadhi are synonymous, and the purport. Any questions? Well, this verse number 30 is after a series of, entanglement and fruitive activities, conversations, but also the system of Sankhya, because this is Kapila Dev speaking to Devahuti, and this is, chapter 32, and he's already covered a lot of territory, including the purpose, in a whole chapter and dealing with what's the purpose of Sankhya. Like Sankhya's dry, right? Just like count. What's sweet and juicy about counting? And categories of, so supposing one has accomplished Sankhya and is not a devotee, is it possible it's possible to, on the material side, that not this, or categories of this and that and the other, that, and identify with spirit. Because that's chapter 2 Bhagavad Gita. Supposing somebody identifies with spirit. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Are there yogis that identify themselves as spirit, not matter? Yes. It's rare. Bahunam jamanamante, etc. It's certainly possible. Rare, but certainly possible. But the whole picture of the purpose of Sankhya is missed. What's the whole purpose of the purpose of Sankhya? What is it? What's the purpose of anything? What's the purpose of knowledge? The purpose of Sankhya is to come to the stage where, by discrimination of matter and spirit, one identifies with spirit and then Paramatma and then Bhagavan. That's the purpose. The purpose of the Vedas is to know me. First person, singular. That's the purpose. Supposing someone is a Sankhya fan and they become very accomplished in Sankhya. They can know. At least conceptually they can know and try to live their life. Wait a minute, how do you try to live your life as spirit soul if you don't acknowledge the source of everything? Well, you just twinkle. Just be situated in knowledge. Yeah, by default, it will lead to impersonalism. Without personalism, it'll lead to impersonalism. So supposing somebody, I want to live my life knowing Aham Brahmasmi. Where does that train go? Impersonalism. So what is the supreme? If I'm properly understanding the angsa, what's the supreme? Brahman. Right? The absolute. Brahma Jigyasa. The absolute truth is Brahman. And I'm part of the absolute truth. So I'm the absolute truth. Because there's no distinction between Brahman and Brahman. I'm Brahmasmi. I'm supreme. Ta-da! I mean, that's where that train is going. Because when you try to live, so how do you live your life if you don't live your life that way? There has to be, it's imperative. There must be a sense of the supreme person, not only super soul. Because in the nice purport, short purport, Prabhupada has written, supposing somebody's, accomplished at Ashtanga Yoga, and they're meditating on Paramatma. That's nice. What do the residents of Tapaloka do? They meditate on Paramatma. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam says they do. And they're very renounced. Look at this. Aloof, niksanga, aloof from material association by detachment. So if they're by detachment, what are they attached to? Paramatma. It's very nice, but that's not Vaikuntha. Sorry, Charlie, that's not Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is beyond Tapaloka. But they're in Tapaloka. They're renunciates only. They have a big sign. Renunciates only. Because Mahaloka just below is Grihastas only. Then there's renunciates only. And then they don't do anything else. They're very content, kind of, in meditating. And they try to persuade Gopakumar. Hey, what are you doing this chanting business? Striving for. We're situated in. You want to see the personality of Godhead? We're seeing him all the time. Check it out. Sit with us and learn Dhyan Yoga. We see the Super Soul all the time, the personality of Godhead, the Supreme. So Brahman, Paramatma, it's Sanatana Goswami's, one of his brilliances in detail, but it's not fiction. It's a commentary on one of the realms of higher existence, Tapaloka. And what do they do there? You start asking those kinds of questions, and if you don't have authoritative sources like Brihad Bhagavatamrita and Sanatana Goswami, which is from Srimad Bhagavatam, then you'll never know. You may think you know, but you'll never know. And if you think you know and go off in the direction of giving some teachings of, I don't know, but I think I know, then it's misleading. Like one of the things that Prabhupada many times said, people say I've done wonderful. But what wonderful? The only thing I can say wonderful is I didn't deviate. I just, as it is, I gave it. And because of that, something wonderful. But if there's any credit, that's the credit. It's not I've done something wonderful. Just so then here we are. The Hare Krishna movement. It's the fruit of Prabhupada giving without change. And then there's different gradations of realization. And so in the verse, we'll try to stick to the verse, there's many things nice to say about the concept, but specifically the verse. Already engaged in devotional service with faith, shraddhaya, steadiness. Where's the word for steadiness? It's not, I don't see the word, but with steadiness and full detachment. Well, steadiness is without, there's unsteadiness. The unsteadiness is our dear friend, affinity for the temporary. And then, so we over here and over there and over there, and that's the unsteadiness. It's the mind and life. Unsteady. Sometimes not. Sometimes not. or at least directionally, in the direction of sometimes not, because affinity for the temporary. So these three, devotional service with some qualifiers. Faith, steadiness, and full detachment. The full detachment conceptually is very easy. Conceptually. Full detachment is full attachment. And full attachment means everything is included, because everything comes from the source of everything. So it's not attachment to the something, it's attachment to the source of something. That's devotional service when it's complete. So full detachment. Full detachment. You know the verses. The verses are the definition of detachment is false. Palgu vairagya is that which is in relation to Hari, you give it up. And then complete renunciation is that which is in relation to Hari, you offer to Hari in devotional service. That's the medium. One more time, without the medium of devotional service, it's incomplete. It's something, and it's taken as spiritual. And somebody goes off saying spiritual. And write books about it, and get followers, and so how to avoid that? We're given a process that avoids that, at least potentially avoids that. That is, we just follow disciplic succession. So we're following disciplic succession, but we're not necessarily at the point of full detachment, because we're not at the stage of full attachment. With faith and steadiness. So there's with faith, there's the immature, there's the mature. The immature is you go in the direction of, because of faith. From, what's the direction? That which is heard from Krishna, or from those connected to Krishna, those representatives of Krishna, with faith. So that's the sadhana, then can bring one to the stage of perfection. Just going away from the words of the verse and so forth, I'm just a little sharing. Having some exchange with one devotee somewhere, and the little light went on. And the little light went on is, we're not there yet. But there's nothing wrong with the process to get there. The difficulty is my affinity for the temporary. And so when I read scripture, some things are irritating, and some things sail over my head, and some things are just so. There's some things I can resonate with. That's nice. So the difficulty is on our side, not with the process, because some persons not getting the expected result feel uncomfortable with something with the process, or the association, like displeased with my expectations of others without looking inside. And so is what to do. The process is there. The path is there. So in short, because this is the culmination of a whole series of verses, devotional service with qualifiers, with faith, steadiness, and full detachment. So it's cultivation, and cultivation with intention and purpose, sankalpa, and then continue to practice. Even I'm not there yet. And here we are. Not there yet, people. But practice of devotional service with faith, steadiness, and complete detachment. At least, to the degree that we're consciously striving for that, then one is aloof from material association. Material association means modes of nature, etc. And one can be, just like before coming here, a very prominent question. I was in Jersey City, New Jersey. Jersey City is just on the other side of the Hudson River. On the other side of Hudson River is, you know what? Manhattan. And a number of the young people that live in Jersey City, they finished their education. They now, some have a job in Manhattan. And, they're dealing with, you also may deal with people that are very materialistic. It's all about money. So he had his violin and he was playing his violin and like, how do I deal with this? I don't want to deal with this. But here I am. So is it possible to not be affected? Because generally we're affected. I mean, we're a product of our association, isn't it? And trends, without going into a big sociology thing, what young people are today is not what young people were 50 years ago. There's different values and different norms and different differences. It's just fine. The younger generation kind of winces when they look at the older generation and how they're leading their life. The older generation is leading their life because they were products of association in a certain era, and it was like, that's how you live your life. Anyway, and then the flow of sociology keeps turning. So we're products of association. Sangat sanjayate kama krodha vijayate. We're products of association. And that means the modes of nature. So generational distinctions, what about transcendental distinctions? That's nice. But, we're not eligible for that because we're still caught in the worldly association conditioning influences. And we're conditioned by those influences. No, just right here in this room, we have multiple stages of generations of sociological positions. And, and beside those differences, there's something at the center. And that's our Srimad Bhagavatam, teaching us how to go beyond the temporary, or beyond the entanglement of fruitive activities. Because fruitive activities, in simple language, is I want to enjoy. And how do I enjoy? Get stuff. And then you can enjoy. Well, I got lots of stuff, but I'm not enjoying. So you're going after the wrong stuff. Go after this stuff instead of that stuff, and you'll enjoy it. Oh. But that's not how it works. That's not what enjoyment is. So how do you get beyond that in fruitive activities, karma? Do something to get something, spirit. We want happiness. We want happiness. Nothing wrong with wanting happiness, but we don't know what happiness is. So we're going after the wrong happiness. We're going after stuff happiness. And, it's the game. You be good at the game and you're happy. It's just not happy. That's not what happiness is. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. It's not, the happiness wasn't there. Let me out of here. That's, that's a kind of spirituality, but that's not spirituality. That's one of the four material positions. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma is not spiritual. Anyway, what's spiritual? What's the cessation of this entanglement and fruitive activities, devotional service? That's Kapila's teaching. That's the train. The Sankhya train takes one to pure devotional service. Followed properly. And there may be stages, that's fine. But don't get stuck in this stage or that stage or the next stage. One of the when Gopal is in Tapaloka, the residents of Tapaloka, the sannyasis, or the renunciates, are trying to persuade him, just, what are you looking for? It's right here. Just join us and you'll see everything that you're looking for. It's right here. We don't have to go anywhere searching for anything. It's right here. Like one of the books of our previous acharyas is Search for the Truth. Truth with a capital T. Search for God. And that's spiritual, searching for the truth. At least it's a sadhana of spiritual, searching for the truth. But what's it like when you found the truth? What's the truth? And what's the symptoms? In short, without bhakti, it's a dim reflection only. Any one of those four, including moksha or dharma, and then in between, artha and kama. It's not. They're all material. The beginning and the end. It's all material. So what's truth? One devotee wrote a letter, very nice devotee, saying, that the search for truth is now complete. The process of bhakti. Now, the realization of that and that may be different. But if we're on the path, there may be a glimmer of realization and keep going, purification. And so it becomes complete. And that's where we are in this, not yet complete, but to some degree, at least, to a degree, faithful. And to a degree, attached to the temporary. So what do you do? How do you hit the reset button? And how do you go to keep going? So it's the sadhusanga principle, the association with those that are there or those that have full faith in those that are there and living their lives in that way. And the other association is available. And we move here and there in other association because it's available. We live our lives, but try to carry that message, live the message, and display. That was the answer I gave to this young man. You're an emissary in Bad Hatton. You have bhakti, and you're carrying bhakti, and you don't like stuff. You don't want just more, and you get more, and you get more, and you get more, and it's never enough. You get more. You don't like that, and the means of a conversation that's all about money and cutthroatism and everything else. No, the unethical money hounding. So be an emissary. You live your life as a devotee, at least inside, and you live your life inside like that. And what happens? Maybe, minimally, bhakti will spill. And then even they don't know what it is, but bhakti will happen. You know, your eating habits, for example, then you're saying, you know, no thank you with a big smile about, you know, alternatives. You know, and people may ask, they may not ask, but, you know, so anyway, without going down, how you can be in the workplace, or you can be in that association where you're different and you're not uncomfortable being different. You're not swaggering, being I'm different, but you're being in a display, on display, you're an emissary of Krishna. And then some people may ask, what's with you? And you just smile, and you can, depending upon the person, you can say stuff. Or, you know, here's a book. Or, you know, depending upon the circumstance and the receptivity. But, you know, we can be in that, and we can be protected even in an unwholesome environment. And there are much, much, much more severe unwholesome environments than Manhattan. Very severe unwholesome association. But it's carrying bhakti and living the life of bhakti and getting to the stage that is being described here. Because the network of complexity, you know, from the previous verses of this chapter, is very entangling. It's not easy to extract oneself from the entanglement, because as soon as you go to an extraction modality, there's another something, another affinity for the other something, and, you know, thinking relief, but it's not relief, it's just another something that's on the material plane. So bhakti is the solution, and pure bhakti is the ultimate solution. And so that's a choice that one needs to make and be clear what it is, even knowing I don't make the best choices all the time. And even when I make a good choice, I don't always do it. You know that one. Because of conditioning, I don't always do it. So what do? You just throw your hands up in the air and say, I quit? No, you can't. Or become a statistic. I started, but then I desisted. No, not like that. Pursue. And the Bhagavatam is superlative. There's nothing that matches it. It's the best. To continue to hear the message. This is what this devotee, I won't say where, but, you know, some devotee was sharing with another devotee that felt stuck. And they felt disappointed in other devotees, and they felt some doubts in the process. But they've been practicing. But, you know, they were a little frumpy, disappointed in themselves and others, and stuck. And so they're sharing this back and forth with one another. We don't have to be stuck. Even you're not perfect, and even this and even that. The Bhagavatam is the shelter. The sound vibration certainly is something that Prabhupada said and believed and expounded and demonstrated. A life dedicated. So, in relation to what's the Bhagavatam? Krishna, Bhagavan, and Krishna's devotee. There's some contrasting, you know, when it's not in alignment with Bhagavan, and there's this living entity over there doing cuckoo stuff, and they're in a miserable condition as a result. Maybe not immediately, but in course of time, it just happens. So there are consequences, and there's benefits by that sound vibration. So just with faith, immersing ourselves in Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, in the association of others who are moving in that same direction. It is protective and purifying. And to some extent, just kind of like preaching to the choir, we have that, but we also are aware of our own shortcomings, and we're aware of others that we're in association with that have their shortcomings. And from time to time, we whine and complain about, oh, this or that, and others whine to come to us, oh, this and oh, that. I don't like being in this material world. Or immaterial association. There's an alternative. Make the choice, and then follow that choice under the guidance of the Bhagavatam. It's there. Amala pramana, spotless evidence to know that to be connected to the Supreme, remembering that which we have forgotten. That's Kapila's teaching. That's the Bhagavatam's teaching. And then, when Kapila Deva is finished, he gets up and leaves. His mother is there, and she doesn't have her husband anymore. She has her son. Her son gets up and leaves. Poor mom, huh? She's all alone, but she's not all alone. Again, choices. Circumstances of life may be what circumstances of life are, and we may choose them, we may not choose them, but they are what they are. And then what do we do? So, same. We come together and we hear inspiring messages from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then class is over and we disperse. And then what? Many examples of, so we live our life and align our life with the process of hearing and chanting, the chanting of the holy name, and the process of hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and make decisions and move in that direction wisely. That's our life. It's an ideal life. And where did it come from? From Krishna and the representatives of Krishna who kindly bestowed it on us, and here we are. Let's see if there's some discussion. Wow, 8:15. All the way in the back.
Are you mentioning how we all stuck? No, I'm sorry, rephrase, I'm sorry. How we all conditioned, and you instructed, don't be stuck. And as many of us are in the stage of anartha nivritti, it is a fairly long, sometimes excruciatingly long time of phase of life, or phase of the devotional practice. What are some symptoms of a person who is progressive in that stage versus stuck?
Your question is what are the symptoms of someone who's progressive and not stuck? That's your question. Well, in different stages, this is like Madhurya Kandamani question or topic. there's stages of that. Commonly, there's the intermittent, that is sometimes not, the sine curve program, sometimes and sometimes. But a symptom is the anartha-nivritti stage, which can take quite some time. The eradication of unwanted things stage. And then there's times when it seems to be more slackened and sometimes more prominent. So, but then as the stage of elevation is the ups and downs are flattened. Anartha-nivritti. Then comes nishtha. So then keep going. Then asakti and ruchi and Madhurya Kandamati discussion. And there are different stages of such a person. So with faith, they're practicing, and they're maybe not there yet, as we are not there yet, but keep going, and then progressively, according to application of that purification process, unwanted things just are diminished and then gone. And then who we really are becomes more prominent. And then who we really are, a very strong component is devotional service. We're the eternal servant. And then steadiness in that consciousness and in the conduct that goes with that consciousness, culture and refinement and making wise decisions both for myself and in the relationships I have with other people. And so it's all of that. Proper conduct in relation to other people, including being cautious about, terribly unwholesome association, and being cautious to not intimately associate with such people, but be kind and try to, as circumstance permits, to elevate. So depends. Now you have something further.
And I've heard you say this a few times, that you cannot stay stuck in one sense, in the sense that you're either progressing or you're regressing in bhakti.
That's a nice phrase. But one can hover with not, substantially progressing in a stage. And one may stay in that hovering or that stage for some time. Yes, it's not static. There's some dynamic, something going on. But, that's part of unsteadiness approaching steadiness. Others?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Go ahead, you got one.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So, as per my understanding, if we wanted to progress in bhakti, we need to be do the devotional service with faith, steadiness, and full detachment. But sometimes we practice the process of bhakti, it become some days is very enthusiastically we do. So many times wow, we are enjoying also.
And?
But some days it become dull. We feels and even in the heart also, we feels that we are not doing good. So I just wonder if any tips. Or I can okay, that thing I can remember and I'll just go back to the same process before.
Well, that depends on how severe and how repeated the dips. And the duration. So it depends. My answer to something like this is there's different answers, and it depends on the circumstance. But they're principles, and one of the principles is detachment. That is, there's the mind and there's the observer of the mind. And which one are you? You're the observer, you're not the mind. And the mind can be going da, 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 da. But you're the observer. So there's a detachment connected to self-realization, a principle of detachment of, I can see the circumstance, but life is not determined by the circumstance. And when the mind is a reflection of the circumstance. So you look. So if that's not me, then what's me? So it's like hit the reset button. You go in detachment or reflection to who you really are. So it's Krishna's teachings, and identify with those teachings. So stay with the purification process, please, at any cost. And allow for the fact that, here's an indicator, I'm not there yet. Now, what do I do when I'm not there yet? And continue with get clarity on what is recommended for the person like me that's not there yet. And then strive to do that in association of devotees, particularly those who are the teachers in my life. And be with them and hear from them, so you just reconnect with reality. And, by pause, a little disconnect from the being controlled by the mind and the circumstances that the mind reads this, and that looks like misery. The mind reads that, looks like happiness, and you're tossed around. No, it's easier said than done because we identify with our mind. But that's the steps to be taken. Now, good news is, by spiritual elevation, that mind influence diminishes and the spiritual influence increases. So you stay with the process. Be clear what the process is, and have friends and guides that can help you when you start getting down or distracted, or they tap you on the shoulder and remind you of what you've forgotten. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Someone else had their hand up over here. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. It's about full detachment.
What?
It is about full detachment.
Speak. Hold a little closer. We got this little system, so I think I'm going to be able to hear.
Full detachment.
Full detachment.
Little different than Mataji's question. I've been contemplating on this, connected to Wednesday discussion also. Krishna doesn't interfere in our free will. So at times when we desire for a particular deepening of connection with Krishna, Krishna's service, how do I express my eagerness for that desire?
How do you do what?
Express my desire for that without being pushy or, so to say, interfere in Krishna's
You can try
plan.
being pushy. Go right ahead. You'll learn that doesn't work. Without Krishna's sanction, being pushy doesn't help. Try a different channel. Submissive service. Try that channel. And if you didn't get it, you'll get it, because being pushy doesn't work. Well, wait a minute. You stomp your foot. Nothing happens. And maybe something happens, but it's not sustainable. It's just like illusion. So without being a devotee, a prerequisite for being a devotee is thoughtful. And that means, thoughtful means a motive, to some degree at least, moving towards the mode of goodness. And I can be a little thoughtful about, hey, what's going on? And if I'm not in that mode of goodness space, at least somewhat, I'm being tossed around like a piece of wood or a cork on the waves of the ocean. And the wave goes up and the wave goes down, and I'm being tossed around. And so mode of goodness is a little, I don't have to be just that cork just being tossed around by the waves. I can be reflective and thoughtful. And then you'll think, then you're in a different mode of nature, and from that mode of nature making wiser choices in the direction of bhakti and so forth. So it's a gradual elevation purification system. Oh yeah, you got the microphone.
The reason I wanted to clarify is, I was thinking, I'll be detached, let Krishna, manifest according to his own plan. But I just wanted to see if I'm listening to my mind and being apathetic, it's okay, let Krishna decide whatever, whenever. I'm not going to say anything. So I want to understand, am I being detached from Krishna's service? Or that's the position I just want.
A question like this it depends. It could be more this and it could be more that. You ask your best friends and ask your husband, Yes, but it was preface with, please be honest with me, and if I'm heading for the ditch, please say so. Friends, those that are very close to you, they understand. If the door isn't open, they may not knock on the door. But if you leave the door open, say, come on in, I want some honesty here, because I'm not clear. I think, but I'm not clear. You need the right people, the wisdom people to go to ask those questions. They exist. Okay. Last question.
Guru Maharaj, I'm most familiar with yoga being divided into these three categories: karma, jnana, and bhakti. So is Sankhya synonymous with Jnana Yoga?
Is what?
Is Sankhya Yoga?
Oh, it can be, depends. It can be synonymous with Bhakti, depends. When Kapila Dev teaches Sankhya, he's not teaching Gyan. Ask your question in a different way. Is Bhagavad Gita about Bhakti? Yes. What about this? What about that? But it leads to bhakti. But supposing you don't know where it leads to, then it can be this or it can be that. So Sankhya can get, back to your husband's question about being stuck. Look, I'm following the process of Sankhya. And I don't need this bhakti thing. Depends on one's disposition or orientation where it falls. It's partial or preliminary, partial or more complete and perfect. There's stages, like spectrum. But where's it's not what the real thing is unless it leads to bhakti. And it does, it does. With bhakti in place, then it carries some meaning. Without bhakti in place, it's Prabhupada's words, useless. Shama evahi kevalam, useless. Okay, gonna end. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.